Serna y esto es Ageless. Hola Belinda.
Hola.
Hola. Sipping the coffee. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to talk to you because I always learn and you always inspire me in so many ways. I wanted to congratulate you on your success and on being ignited to another Hall of Fame.
I know. It's well, the Go-Go's were inaugurated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021.
And that is big.
That's a huge, yeah. And then I got a phone call about 3 weeks ago from the California Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And they want to induct the Go-Go's into the Hall of Fame in, I believe it's in the beginning of February.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That is major because you really changed the music world.
Yeah, I mean, the Go-Go's really, against all odds, succeeded when really, they probably shouldn't have, but because we started from nothing, we didn't know what we were doing, how to do anything, and then because of hard work and there's some talented people in the band, against all odds, we succeeded. We went from not knowing how to do a thing in 1978 to becoming the biggest band in America in 1981.
And the first all-girl bands that played their own instruments and wrote their own songs. So that is major. You did the 360.
Right. We didn't, the Go-Go's were a complete female operation. And in the very beginning, we wanted to be a girls' club. Uh-huh. So no boyfriends allowed, no boys allowed. We had female management, female roadies. It was like, just a gang of girls.
Wow.
And, we weren't really feminists, but because we wanted to keep it, everything to ourselves, and we didn't really think about girl power, female power. We were just doing what we wanted to do and being successful at it. So, yeah, we were the first we didn't take any outside songs from anybody.
Wow.
Jane wrote Our Lips Are Sealed, numbering the frets on her guitar because she didn't know notes.
Wow.
So it was like 9, 2, 3, 4, and so on.
That is talent.
I know. She's really talented.
Wow.
And so everybody had... it was just one of those things that was meant to be.
Everybody had their own gift.
Right.
And it all came together.
Right.
I love that. And I love that you did it without thinking we are feminist or anything. You just wanted to be like a powerhouse.
Yeah, we just wanted to have fun. And we wanted to be cool. We were like 18, 19 years old then.
Very young.
And all the kids we knew, we were part of the Los Angeles punk scene. And all the kids we knew were in bands. And we were like the only people that were in bands. And, so it was like, let's start a band. Okay, what are you going to do? And so I had a choice of singing or playing the drums.
Oh, drums.
And I was in 2 other punk bands before the Go-Go's, the Germs, which was a very famous band.
Okay.
But I was the drummer that never played because I got sick and had to go home to my mom and dad because I came down with mononucleosis, the kissing disease.
A kissing disease.
That is a fun kissing disease.
Fun until it gets, no?
So that, and I didn't, after that, I did not want to play the drums. So okay, I'll sing. So I didn't know how to sing. But no one knew how to do anything, so.
But then you sang, and look at what a successful career you have still to this day, because you persevered. Without the Go-Go's, you became very successful, and you are still going strong, singing with beautiful songs, making everybody happy, touring. Right. So you never saw a stop to your career, or did you?
Well, there were times when, I thought that I was going to quit. It's a tough. I started when I was when I was 17, actually. So, and I'm 65. So, there were times when I really was disillusioned. I mean, I remember, we did this for fun. This was all about having a laugh and being able to travel around the world and making music.
Wow.
And then I think after the Go-Go's became big, we realized that it was actually a business for corporations. So when you become like a product of a corporation, it's a weird thing and there were times when I became very disillusioned by that. My career has been very up and down. It's been highs, there's been lows too. So for whatever reason, I think it's because there was one time in 1993 when I cut my hair off really short, and I wanted to cut myself off from my identity and what I did.
Ah, really?
Yeah, and I moved to France, was living in the south of France, and I thought I'm just going to be a mom, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I was always reeled back in by somebody, Miles Copeland, who was the manager of the police, and he ran record labels. He was a big deal in the music industry. He flew to France and said, "You can't retire,
and you're too young to retire.
This is what you're meant to do." So, the times that was the only time really when I thought I'm going to quit. But
and how long were you off the business?
There was 2 or 3 years, and then when I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't feel like I wanted to play the game, because it's a game. It's all a game.
It's a game.
And I was tired of playing the game. And then eventually I was reeled back in. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to play the game on my own terms. And that was when I made my French album. When I got sober in 2008 or 2007, I started making it. I don't even know. It was a long time ago. But that was when I decided, okay, I'm going to play the game my own way and on my own terms. And I'm only going to do things that come from the heart. And I'm only going to do things that are fun.
That is power.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
That you took the power from your career and from everybody else and decided that it was going to be on your terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a smart way to do, because whatever you do, we feel it from the heart.
Right.
Every song that you sing, and I'm talking in plural because it is, we feel that you really are singing that song with a happy attitude and maybe without even knowing it, or without even knowing to what extent you are inspiring people with singing the beautiful songs and happy songs that need to be heard and listened to, and maybe change the beat of the country, not the country, the world.
Yeah, right. Well, I think that most of my albums came from that place. The albums that didn't come from that place, there are 2 I can think of. When I was going through personal struggles or just really disillusioned, you can hear it. There's no way you can't hear it.
Oh.
So without naming those albums, there were 2 albums that I can't even really listen to because my heart wasn't in it.
So
I know, and I think people know. People can, they get a feeling from it. They can
because
tell.
we tune in.
Yeah,
I think you've created such a community that goes beyond the fandom.
Right.
It's a community, and for me, that I went to a Los Angeles concert, I was waiting for my friend that was in the bathroom, and 2 guys showed up and said, "Who did you come here to hear?" And I said, "Belinda," and they clapped with me, and they said, "It's her that we're waiting for." So everybody's it's like a community, and it's beautiful to see, and it's my honor to be a part of, because I am the groupie. I want to go to every concert. So for me, it's like a happy place.
Right. It's a privilege for me to be able to have had this career for so long, and it's not many people. I've been around since the first record that came out in 1979.
Wow.
So, that's pretty unique.
It's pretty unique and pretty remarkable, because look at the legends that they go too fast.
Yeah.
Their lives may be up and down, like you say, but something tragic happens, or then they completely retire, and you have managed, in spite of everything, to keep a successful career, a centered family life, a beautiful relationship with your partner.
Right.
You have made the work,
Right.
and look at you,
Right.
booming, beautiful, and inspiring. So
Right.
that is quite an example and quite an inspiration for the new generations and for every generation, because you have traveled the road in such a graceful way.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's you know, it's I'm very, very blessed. I mean, I think it's an element of
Grace.
it's total grace. I mean, that's a lot.
Yes.
It has a lot to do with it. Destiny, luck, whatever. You know, I've was obviously born under lucky stars, and I think I realized really early that the power of manifestation and the power of being able to do whatever you want against all odds.
Against all odds.
And I seem to have done it time and time again for the past, since I was 17.
Wow.
So
magic.
yeah. It is magic, and I'm very, very blessed.
It's magic, because when you wanted to have fun, and then you had fun, and when you wanted to succeed, then you succeeded. Everything that you wanted, you have, no?
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah, and also, like I said before too, it's not all like this.
No, but
There's
that's
like that
life.
too. But you need that.
You need that to climb up, and maybe to prioritize and to acknowledge,
Yeah.
no? And to, what do I say, to refocus.
Yeah. Well, like one of the girls in the Go-Go said, you never learn from the good times. You always learn from the, from the experiences that are challenging.
Yes, and to learn how to know how to transform the deep end into a lesson, and to push you back up.
Yeah, exactly.
No?
Exactly.
Because if it's all flat line, it gets boring.
Yeah, no, it is boring. It's boring for people, boring for me. It's a little bit of drama.
A little bit of drama.
is okay every once in a great while.
In a great while, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But then looking back and said, oh my God, I did this.
Yeah.
Because you've had a long-term career with its up and downs, but people don't really know the ups and downs. They just see the result, it's a beautiful result. And fashion-wise too, because somebody told me, John, whom I met through this beautiful community that you create without probably not knowing, and he said, did you know that there's a Belinda Carlisle dress in a hard rock somewhere that you walk the red carpet for Cannes? Something like that.
Sometimes people know more about me than I do.
The memorabilia.
Yeah.
Because wow, I said, oh my God, to be like the dress in a beautiful space in a hard rock somewhere in the world.
Wow.
The dress that you wore for the premiere, I think, from the premiere of your husband, Morgan
Sex, Lies, and
Mason.
Videotape.
The one that you walked the red carpet in Cannes.
Okay, that's amazing.
Amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
we want to see that dress, because
wow.
every
I'm trying
dress,
to think of what it was.
Maybe, hopefully he will show us. But the thing is, every time that you're on stage and off stage too, you have this style. And I think that's something that you were born with, because I've seen from your punk days, and even there, you look with elegance, even with a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And short hair.
Yeah, I've always had an interest in fashion, and I've always been a bit of an outsider and contrarian, which means someone who wants, if you say the sky is blue, I'll say it's green or yellow. So that's always been how I was growing up. With the things that I'd wear, I'd sew my own clothes. My mother actually made a lot of my early punk clothes.
Oh, really?
And I'd worked at a fabric store, so I'd choose fabrics. But I was always saving my money to get, French Vogue or British Vogue, even in high school.
In high school.
So but I remember like little moments that kind of defined, and I think everybody has this, that little moments that you can remember that kind of define your taste. And I remember those little moments. So, but I mean, when I look back on some of the earliest days when we had no money and everything came from thrift stores, and I mean, amazing.
Very well put together.
Yeah, really
with
amazing.
style.
Yeah.
Because I think you are born with style.
I think you're something that you're born. You have it or you don't.
You either have it or you don't.
You can't buy it.
And money doesn't have much to do with it because you can go into a thrift store and find the best things.
Yeah.
And
you
then
can't
you
buy
put
it.
together.
You can't buy style.
No, you can buy anything.
You can buy brands, but you can't buy style.
No, but the brands would look like
Yeah.
we know that they look. Yes, the style comes from within.
Exactly.
But I also admire your perseverance in living a life that is walking the talk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that is a big lesson because maybe that's one of the tools to have a happy, complete life, successful life, and in so many areas because you can do anything. You can decorate, you can do fashion, you can curate whatever you want, you can transform a person's look.
Right.
You have many, many talents that complement each other but come out together in a beautiful way. How do you do it?
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I always, I don't know. I mean, I think that comes from probably it's a lot of work. I mean, I work hard every day to be normal and to be solid and to be stable. It's hard being stable in this world.
It is.
So, I mean, I think that people kind of feel it even when I'm singing and when I'm on stage because I have a really strong daily meditation yoga practice. I study great teachers. So I think it all comes from that.
And consistency.
And walking the talk.
Walking the talk,
Yeah.
I think that would be your motto.
Yeah.
I mean, me from outside can say she walks the talk.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Because I'm kind of obsessive compulsive. And if I miss a day, no, I'm on a 3-year meditation now. So it was 1 year. I'm on day 330 something.
Oh, really?
So now we extended it to 3 years. So, because I am slightly OCD, not bad, then I will make sure that I continue that.
But maybe that pushes you.
I think so, and it's really good for you. I mean, it used to be, that I didn't have a spiritual base to sort of live my life from. For most of my life, I didn't have that, and only in the past, since I got sober, really is when, I started. Well, actually, before I got sober, I was looking for that. Something that was bigger than me.
Wow.
I had a moment when I was dropped by my record company at age 40, like the day after my birthday.
And really? Because you turned 40, they dropped you?
Yeah, they dropped me. And of course I was like, this is the only thing that I know how to do is sing. I mean, but that actually was like the beginning of this whole thing that I've continued up until now and will continue, hopefully forever, is that was the beginning of my search for myself, and because I knew that I always I was not defined by what I did. I mean, people always say, "Oh, Belinda, go, Belinda singer," but I knew it was more than that. So that was really the beginning of all this sort of reading and studying and meditation and chanting and everything that I do now.
And that made you feel quite solid because probably you were already, but you didn't feel it.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I started it, I was still very much in the throes of addiction, and but what that did is that it made me, I wasn't able to sort of hide from myself anymore. It kind of like busts open the karma, and
wow, that is heavy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when you know that. You have all these secrets and lies and so this whole thing, and you're chanting and trying to be a good girl, and you have this other thing sort of hovering over your shoulder.
Other side.
It's heavy. But, I mean, that was the beginning of up until now
healing.
that I've sort of continued.
Of your healing.
Yeah.
No? But, Belinda, that acquiring your sobriety and maintaining it, that is the biggest, I think, accomplishment anybody can have.
Right.
Because how many do it? no?
Oh, it's like talk about grace. It's like
exactly.
grace.
It's grace, it's commitment, it's really finding your strength,
Right.
and staying there in your center, regardless of the ups and downs of the day or what we go through in life, because life is never a flat line. No? But finding all the other talents, for me, like you had a home line. Like, you've explored so many times, so many things, beautiful things. And I said, oh, what a beautiful piece. Oh, it was from my home line. And I'm like, what? So you keep doing and creating. So you're not defined by your singing. You are a creator.
Yeah, no, I'm always looking for something besides singing. I have so many interests, like besides music.
Plants. You've developed a beautiful forest in your house, in your terrace.
It's an acquired taste.
No, but
it's not for everybody.
No, but you love the plants, and the plants bloom.
Yeah.
So it's like a seed that comes out beautifully, and I think that is a gift.
I think I do have a knack for that.
A gift, because I can. Some people, I'm thinking that the seeds I plant do come out beautifully, thank God. But somebody can say they plant, and maybe it's coming from the heart.
I think so. Well, plants are really sensitive, and they can feel what's going on. I had without naming names, there was a really famous record company executive who would have fresh flowers delivered to her office.
I was a her.
And the florist was a friend of mine. He's like, her flowers die. They die after 2 days, and he'd have to keep delivering flowers to her. But they pick up on vibration.
On vibration and the energy.
Yeah,
no, maybe she had a bad,
she
heavy
was a bad
energy.
vibe, totally. Yeah.
Well, thank God that doesn't happen to you. But I wanted to come back to the record company dropped you because you turned 40,
right.
And regardless of your success, they thought that you were not going to sell anymore.
That was it.
And look how wrong you proved them.
Well, that was when, that was when I made this album, A Woman and a Man, and it was like a really tough time. But actually, it was a gift. In retrospect, it was a gift because it, like I said earlier, it forced me to like really dig deep and to figure out who I was. I actually panicked, and I was living in France at the time, and got in a plane and flew to LA to meet with new management because I was like, like in shock.
Like they take the rug out of your feet.
Yeah. And at the same time, thank God that the Go-Go's were still doing dates. So I still had that. I knew it wasn't a forever thing because I knew that I had such a great back catalog and I could always work from that, but I wasn't really sure about whether I'd ever, every time I go, it's like an actor. When an actor finishes a movie, they think, oh my God, this could be my last movie ever. Even the big actors. And after I do a recording, it's like, oh, I'll probably never go to the studio again. I don't do that as much because I can create projects if I want to do them, I do them. But I thought at the time maybe I won't ever record again.
And look, you just recorded.
Who's going to want me? Pop music is very youth oriented, and 40 is old in that genre.
But that is the thing that we're trying to change, and you're a part of this movement because I think people, men or women, don't have expiration dates.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And the energy never gets old.
Not at all.
So,
my.
You have the energy of a 16-year-old that wakes up very early and are as active, and I get exhausted and you look upbeat and I'm oh my God, because you have this youthful energy. So energy doesn't age. And totally. It's wow. And then I say, okay, wake up, because I tend to be lazy and tend to be and then but when somebody comes and has this vibrant energy, I pick up on it and I act, and it's contagious.
Flood along with me. I mean, when my son left school, left home after he left, everybody's like, "Oh, that's so sad." It's like, no, it's not. I can do anything I want now, and so life really is so interesting. Much more interesting when I was at the top of, doing Heaven on Earth and doing, running around the world. I mean, it was exciting and doing TV shows and, doing these big tours, but it's vastly more interesting now.
Because you're discovering stuff. And for example, I want to mention that you just recorded a Christmas song with Emmanuel. Tell us about it, because that is amazing. You come to Mexico and all of a sudden Belinda is singing a song with this iconic Mexican singer that we all love. And that's part of the magic that you generate.
It's, thanks to you and thanks to a couple of friends but I mean, I wanted to do something in Spanish. So it's like we're going back to like that manifestation that things just kind of magically
because
happen.
You're open to the gifts of the universe, and I think that
it's important to be open to anything. It really is. But yeah, that was really exciting. I mean, that was a dream come true for me.
Wow. And it's just the beginning, because we have some other plans, no? Some very interesting plans.
Yes.
But the thing is to see the video and to feel the upbeat, because you really have this upbeat energy, and it's a happy song, a contagious
it's a great song.
Joy.
It's a great song, and the production's great. And
the style.
He has that gift too. He's very sparkly and I mean, I went to go see him when I first moved here. I saw him perform a couple of months later, and I didn't know any of his songs, but I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, he's great.
And he dances like you.
Yeah, he's a dancer.
He moves around, and it's a beautiful thing to see, because you get happy and then you want to dance too.
Yeah.
I think the happiness is contagious.
I think so, and people want that now. They really want that now. Yeah, it's much needed.
It's much needed, and I think that you, because you have an anthem song that is called Big Big Love, and it's beautiful, and it inspires to really be open to the finding love or receiving love or giving love. Love.
What kind of love? Yeah, any kind of love.
Any kind of love.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite songs that I've recorded.
Wow.
And it's funny because Diane Warren, who did the EP, wrote 5 songs for me for this EP that came out in May, and she was just she's so intense, but it just like on and on and on about how we have to push it in the States and how it has to be a hit, because it was a hit in Europe and it was a hit in other countries, but it didn't quite get it. I mean, there's so many politics in American music, and you have to pay people off to get on the radio, so it's not a pure thing.
It's not organic.
No, it's not. But she was like, having one of her Diane fits this morning, which was actually very funny. But it's a great song, no matter what. I'm very proud of it.
Of course, and it's a success in the world.
Yeah.
So we don't only care about a country.
I don't care. Yeah,
no?
Exactly.
It's worldwide.
Exactly.
And it's just inspiring, and it's out there.
Yeah,
for people to listen to.
It's a great song.
And what are your plans for? Because you have never seen age as an impediment or a limiting belief.
I'm sorry?
You have never felt, in my opinion, tell me if it's contrary, that for you age is never a limiting thing.
No. I mean, like physically it can be a little bit of a drag, like, for years and years of dancing, and I've just worn my knee out. So
because you've danced the world away.
I know. So now I have to get a knee. There's like things that go along with like, the aging process, and I won't ever refer to myself as old, ever.
No, because
I think
you're
that's
not.
a really negative thing.
No,
I have friends
you're
that do
not.
that, and I get mad at them. But I mean, we do have to recognize. I have to recognize that I am in my 60s, and there's physical things that come along with that. That can come along with that. So I need a knee replacement. So that, it's like whatever. But besides the physical things, I mean, I'm doing things that I would have done if I thought of it.
Biking to downtown in Mexico City, riding a bike the whole way from her house to... I don't do it. And my friends don't do it. My nieces don't do it.
I love it.
Well, you see?
I love physicality. So.
Well, but this energy, because energy is a gift, and you work on your energy.
Yeah.
And it's a contagious, happy, upbeat energy, and you have the beat.
Yeah, I do.
That song, you should have a tattoo because wow. I think that when you see Belinda, you think she has the beat. No matter what she's doing, she has the beat. Either she's cycling or walking or just shopping.
Or
doing house stuff.
Yeah,
or
which I'm
plant
doing now.
shopping.
Yeah.
Or even learning Spanish.
I'm learning Spanish now, so next time maybe we can do it in Spanish.
That would be a threat.
3 times a week. And then Duolingo every day. So it's getting there. But every time I think I have it down, then something comes up that's difficult.
For example, you ask for directions right now, and they told you in Spanish, and then you found the way.
Yeah.
So now you understand.
Yeah, I can sort of understand. I can speak a little bit too.
Yes, you can. I just saw, and it makes me very proud. But what I was gonna say is that you're an inspiration, regardless of your success in music, as a human being. Because in every area that you are grace personified. Like you can talk to anybody, and everybody's gonna say, "Oh my God, I had a very interesting conversation with her," and your attention is on that person.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I'm like I said earlier, I'm blessed, and grace has always been a big part of my life. So for whatever reason, and I'm not going to question it,
No, but it shows.
Yeah.
So congratulations, because you share it with the world.
Yeah, thank you.
What advice would you give any little girl that wants to make her dreams come true?
Well,
not only little girls, any woman or person or guy. Anybody.
Well, I'm a perfect example time and time again, as I said, about being a manifester, and anything that you want and that you can have. There's plenty of books on it. There's all I could go into all the books, but the most famous one being that book, The Secret, which is actually okay. It's not as good as some of the other manifestations, but after reading some of these books, I realized that all through my life, anything I wanted to do, I've done. Up until present day, when I'm working on this donkey sanctuary that's just magically coming to fruition. It's really weird.
Wow.
And
fast. So you manifest like
this. Yeah. No, I know it. And it's like when you have an idea of something you want, just believe that it's on its way to you.
Wow.
So, and if you do that, then chances are, there's a way to think, there's a way to speak, but you get into that practice and it makes it easy to manifest things. So I would say you can have anything. I'd say, of course it's hard work, but, with me, well, yeah, it's hard work too. And I would say both of those things.
It's hard work, but it's also a desire.
But I've always worked hard, but I haven't been desperate.
No.
And it's not that kind of
No, maybe you trust.
Because that implies negativity, and that implies sort of desperation, which is cuts you off from things that are on their way to you. Oh. So it's a whole way of thinking. So, but I've worked hard, but I've also, at the same time, I've kind of let it just sort of come to me at the same time.
That it's beautiful. Because you trust, and you know that it's going to show up.
Totally.
And I know that it's going to show up because you've done it since you were a little girl.
Since I was a little girl, yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations, and thank you for showing up, regardless of the weather and regardless of the cold. We're very honored. You do? Me too, but then it gets very cold.
I love it.
Well, thank you, because then you are manifesting the cold weather. Probably.
I love it.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you, and you're welcome anytime.
I love talking to you, so anytime.
Next time in Spanish.
Okay.
En español.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Yo soy Luisa Serna y esto es Ageless. Una producción original de Troop.